The Glorious Revolution of 1688 was a significant event in British history that had far-reaching consequences. Here are the causes and results of this revolution. Causes. 1. Protestant versus Catholic tensions. The English monarchy was predominantly Anglican, while a fear of Catholic influence grew due to King James II's Catholicism and his policies that favored Catholics. This led to concerns about the future of Protestantism in England. 2. Succession crisis. King James II's Catholicism intensified concerns about the succession of the throne. His second wife gave birth to a Catholic heir, threatening the continuation of a Protestant monarchy. 3. Political opposition. Many prominent political figures, known as the Whigs, opposed King James II's policies and sought to protect Protestantism and parliamentary power. They were concerned about the concentration of royal authority and the disregard for parliamentary decisions. Number 4. Invitation to William of Orange. A group of influential English politicians, known as the Immortal Seven, invited William of Orange, a Protestant Dutch prince and husband of King James II's Protestant daughter Mary, to intervene and protect English liberties. Results. 1. William and Mary's ascension. William of Orange, along with his wife Mary, accepted the invitation and arrived in England with a Dutch fleet. They were proclaimed joint monarchs, and King James II fled to France, leading to a relatively peaceful transition of power. 2. Bill of Rights. In 1689, the English Parliament enacted the Bill of Rights, which outlined the rights and liberties of English citizens, limited the power of the monarch, and affirmed parliamentary authority. It established the supremacy of Parliament and laid the foundation for constitutional monarchy. 3. Constitutional changes. The Glorious Revolution marked a shift towards a constitutional monarchy where the powers of the monarch were limited by law and subject to parliamentary control. It established the principle of shared power between the monarch and Parliament, ensuring greater accountability and the protection of individual rights. Number 4. Toleration Acts. In the aftermath of the Revolution, Parliament passed the Toleration Acts of 1689 and 1690, granting certain religious freedoms to dissenting Protestant groups, though not extending the same rights to Catholics. 5. Influence on future revolutions. The Glorious Revolution served as a model for other revolutions and influenced political thought worldwide. Its principles of limited monarchy and protection of individual rights inspired movements like the American Revolution and the French Revolution. Political impacts of the Glorious Revolution. 1. Establishment of a constitutional monarchy. Limited the powers of the monarch through the Bill of Rights. Established the principle of shared power between the monarch and Parliament. Ensured greater accountability of the monarch to Parliament. 2. Affirmation of parliamentary authority. Parliament became the supreme governing body in England. Parliamentary decisions held more weight than royal authority. Parliament gained the authority to make and pass laws. 3. Protection of individual rights. The Bill of Rights guaranteed certain rights and liberties to English citizens. Rights such as freedom of speech, fair trials, and protection against excessive fines were established, laid the foundation for the protection of individual freedoms and civil liberties. 4. Shift towards a constitutional government marked a transition from absolute monarchy to a constitutional monarchy. Established a system where the monarch's powers were limited and subject to laws and parliamentary control. Ensured that the government operated within a legal framework. 5. Influence on political thought and revolutions. Inspired future revolutions and movements for political change. Principles of limited government and protection of individual rights influenced the American Revolution and the French Revolution. The Glorious Revolution became a model for other nations seeking to establish constitutional governments. Toleration of dissenting Protestant groups. The Toleration Acts of 1689 and 1690 granted certain religious freedoms to dissenting Protestant groups, provided limited tolerance and protection for non-Anglican Protestant denominations. Catholics, however, were still not granted the same rights and faced restrictions. Why the Glorious Revolution is called the Glorious Revolution. 1. Peaceful transition. The Glorious Revolution is referred to as glorious because it was largely bloodless and marked a peaceful transfer of power. The overthrow of King James II and the ascension of William and Mary occurred with minimal violence or armed conflict. Number 2, limited resistance. Unlike many other revolutions characterized by widespread rebellion or civil war, the Glorious Revolution faced relatively limited resistance. King James II's support dwindled quickly, and he ultimately chose to flee, rather than engage in a protracted and violent struggle to maintain his position. 3. Political reforms. The revolution brought about significant political reforms that were seen as positive and progressive for their time. The establishment of a constitutional monarchy with shared power between the monarch and parliament, as well as the enactment of the Bill of Rights, were considered significant achievements in terms of protecting individual liberties and affirming parliamentary authority. Number 4, protection of Protestantism. The Glorious Revolution had a strong religious dimension, with concerns about the preservation of Protestantism playing a central role. The revolution's success in ensuring Protestant succession and safeguarding the Anglican Church from perceived Catholic threats was viewed as a triumph for Protestantism and religious freedom. 5. Limited social disruption. The Glorious Revolution did not lead to widespread social upheaval or disruption. The transition of power primarily occurred within the existing political and social structures, and the revolution did not significantly alter the social order or cause significant economic turmoil. Number 6. Positive historical legacy. Over time, the Glorious Revolution gained a positive historical reputation due to its long-term impact and its influence on subsequent political developments. It established the foundation for constitutional monarchy, parliamentary authority, and individual rights, making it an important milestone in the progress of democratic governance. Different factions and their role in the revolution. 1. Non-jurors. Anglicans who refused to take the oath of allegiance to William and Mary, remaining loyal to James II as the rightful king despite his exile, supported James II as the rightful king and opposed the revolution. Some non-jurors played a significant role in opposing the revolution and supporting the exiled James VI. 2. High churchmen. Anglicans who held traditional high church views, emphasizing episcopal authority, bishop is supreme, and Anglican practices, initially supported James II, but some later switched allegiance. High churchmen were divided in their support for James II, and some played a role in resisting the revolution. 3. Latitudinarians. Anglicans who sought a middle ground between high church and Puritan positions, promoting tolerance and moderation in religious matters, supported the Glorious Revolution and the new Protestant monarchy, actively participated in the establishment of the new order. Key figures: non-jurors, Bishop Thomas Ken, high churchman, Archbishop William Sancroft. Latitudinarians, Bishop Gilbert Burnet. Role in revolution: non-jurors emphasized the importance of episcopal authority and traditional Anglican practices. High churchmen advocated for a strong connection between the church and the state. Latitudinarians promoted a more moderate approach to religious doctrine and advocated religious tolerance.